Good morning, friends. I welcome you to today's session on international marketing. In continuation to what we have discussed yesterday, we had a very brief discussion about the basics of marketing, which we have done in the first semester. So now let us directly get into the topic. As you know, our syllabus is syllabus is divided into various blocks. When we look at the first block, we have international marketing scope and nature as the first part of it. Then we have international marketing environmental analysis, both in terms of external and internal environment. That is macro environment and the micro environmental factors. Then we have got how the organizations or the firms or the companies are entering into the international markets. Now, the major question that we all think about, or most of the organizations have to face at one point or the other, is why go international? Why should organizations go international? To discuss why or companies or corporations have to go international, there are two different sets. One is the push factors and the pull factors. We have discussed push and pull strategies at length in the first semester from the domestic marketing point of view. But when we discuss from the international marketing point of view, push factors like the resources available at the international level, a company tries to venture international, venture into beyond the domestic barriers, that is either geographical domestic barriers or the political domestic barriers, to take the advantage of the resources available over there, the management expertise, company culture, environmental factors. Environmental factors could include the political, economic, technological, natural, legal, and socio-cultural environmental factors. Now, when we discuss about the pull factors, the company, goes international looking at the positive or opportunistic drivers for internationalization. Now, for going international, that is, international business has got many drivers. That is why companies have to look at the international options. What is the need for it? We can discuss it from this perspective. The first being to expand the available markets. When we try to expand the markets, there are 4 strategies available to any company. That is, cater to the same markets with new products. That is, new products, same markets, new products, new markets. These are the 2 strategies. Same products that the company has got, they can cater to wider markets within the domestic perspective, or they can enter into the new markets. So these are the 2 more strategies. So with all together 4 strategies, the company can take the advantage of the foreign land, the foreign regions, and try to sell their products in those areas, which give them a larger scope, expose them to larger audience, and also enrich the company with new technology and with new expertise. Then technology. It is evident that beyond the domestic barriers of a country or of a nation, there are different technologies available in different countries. For example, Germany, we say, is very good in manufacturing. Okay, Southeast Asian tigers like Taiwan and all, we believe that they are good in electronic goods. Okay, like that, there are so many countries which are good in different aspects of business or different aspects of technology. So to take the advantage, to know the new technological know-how, they go international. We have market factors, both micro and macro environmental factors. Then we have competitive factors. Then to take the advantage of the facilities available across the countries, even within our country, to increase the foreign direct investment. Most of the state governments and the central government are inviting the companies to come to our country, our state, or our region, or our city, and we are providing special economic zones, or we are providing an IT park like we have in Hyderabad, where they are given special facilities and special concessions, special subsidies. So to take the advantage of these facilities and the the added uh, facilities by the local government or the central government, many organizations look at it. Then there is the concept of cost advantage. Definitely, with 1 rupee to $1 difference, India is I should say, a hub for many of the overseas companies to have their offshore campuses in our country. Majorly with, BPOs and KPOs operating from India to take the advantage of the skilled workforce, skilled English speaking workforce from India. In the same way, many corporations in India are going international to take the advantage of the availability of land, it could be, or the availability of the natural resources, and the availability of some of the resources within the earth's crust and all, so that they can expand those organizations or corporations. Then it is the concept of liberalization. As companies become liberalized, as governments become liberalized, as guidelines and positivity towards privatization within individuals and within policymakers improves, there is more global trade. And to take the advantage, or there is a necessity for imports and exports for every country, and hence to take the advantage of that necessity of imports and exports by individual countries also, business has become global. Then the available, as I have just now discussed, availability of productivity factors, that is land, building, or you can discuss it with the concept of 5Ms: money, material, machine hours, okay, then man hours, and also the management expertise. Now let us look at the factors that decide the mode of entry into international markets. What factors decide what type of how a corporation is going international? Is it just looking at a joint venture? Is it just looking at an exporting? Or is it looking for an international marketing agreements? Or is it looking to become a multinational company? Or is it looking to become a global company? Or is it trying to become a transnational company? This decides upon the present worth of the company and what the company is doing as on today. Now, we look at the following factors like size of the business. Is the firm a small scale company, a medium scale company, or a large scale company? And the type of the product that the company is manufacturing. Then we have the point of expansion strategies. What for the company is trying to expand? Is it trying to expand that because it has penetrated into the domestic markets and to take the advantage of excess production, or idle production in its manufacturing unit, it is trying to become global? If that is the case, then they will look at the exporting perspective only, because the company has got a very good product in its hand. The company has got idle production capacity. So the firm can use this idle production capacity, manufacture more number of units, so that, the fixed expenditure can be spread across the unit, spread across, and that gives economies of scale advantage. And this increases the profits of the company. So they look at the exporting perspective, only exporting. But suppose the company feels they have promising ideas and promising products with a promising technology, where they feel there is a need for that idea, for that product, and for that technology across the globe. They may go for a foreign direct investment. That is, they may develop themselves into a domestic company, into a multinational company, by a strategic growth. So this is the expansion motive that the firm looks at. Then the potential size. Where does the company wants to go? What are the resources as of now? If the company has got resources and as of now it is a domestic company or just an international company, they may think of taking advantage of various resources available at various areas across the globe and try to evil, uh, go through these evolutionary stages from a domestic company to the international firm, then from there to a multinational company, and from there to a transnational company, and from there into a global company. Now, there is the demand factor also. There could be demand for the existing product in other countries. Here, I would like to give the example of Priya Pickles. When Enadu Group has come up with Priya Pickles, they did not work so good in India, because India, every customer in every household, they are used to making these pickles. So they thought the demand for that pickles might be from the people who cross the domestic barriers of our country and have settled in various international destinations. They may be wanting these pickles and not able to make by themselves. So when this Priya pickles have gone global, that means when they have started exporting these pickles to other countries in Europe and US, that is Western countries and European countries, Priya pickles is very, very successful. Okay, then to gain economic and the business environment, if the company excuse me, the company feels that the required business environment, the political structure, and the policies of the government are in favor of FDIs or in favor of corporations going multinational into those countries, then definitely the companies will look for going international. Now let us see the definition of what international marketing is. Now, we all know what marketing is. Now, let us get to know or get to understand what international marketing is. International marketing, as we have seen, is the multinational process of planning and executing. We all know when we talk about a marketing strategy, we have got two steps in the marketing strategy. The first step is framing the strategy with regard to STP, that is, what is the segmentation, which segments we are trying to target, that is targeting, and how the company plans to position its products in the minds of the target customers. So first step of any marketing strategy starts with framing STP. Then comes the marketing mix. That is, what is the product? What is the price of that particular product? What type of a pricing strategy is the company looking for? And what is the distribution channel? Or what are the combinations of the distribution channel? Is the firm thinking of available in both online and offline channels? And what are the distribution design decisions that the company takes up? What are the distribution management decisions that the company takes for, and what are the promotional decisions? When we talk about the promotion, we are talk about what type of an advertising the company is looking for, what type of sales promotional initiatives, that is, what type of consumer and trade promotional options the company wants to look for. Then do they really have sales executives, but that is, are they looking for personal selling? And what type of public relations initiatives that the organization is planning for? So when a company plans all these things From a domestic market perspective, we call it as the domestic marketing. And when a company plans all these from the international marketing perspective, we say that the company is doing international marketing. So, American Marketing Association defines it as the multinational process of planning, executing, and conception of pricing, promotion, and distribution. As we know, products are, yesterday we discussed, products are goods, services, experiences. So, of distribution of ideas, that is, an experience could be an idea, goods and services to create exchange that satisfy both the customer and the company. And to go a step ahead, the famous marketing gurus, Katora and Graham, explains international marketing as the performance of business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and direct the flow of a company's goods and services to consumers or users in more than one nation for a profit. So a company tries to strategize or plan its pricing strategy, promotional strategy, distribution strategy with respect to or with regard to the goods and services. The goods and services that are being manufactured or developed or produced by a firm to consumers or users of more than one country or more than one geographical area is what we talk about international marketing. Now, to go a little further, international marketing is the marketing of goods and services outside the country's domestic border. As we have taken, we can say that it is the domestic border, or we can also say that domestic border means we are specifying about the geographical borders, or we also can specify about the political borders. Then there is a need to develop marketing strategies to suit the new potential customers. The minute the company decides to go international, there is a need to develop or redirect the marketing strategies that are already developed, keeping in view the local customers to suit, that is, change those strategies to suit the potential customers, because these potential customers are residing in different countries and hence could be from different economic perspectives, different social perspectives, different cultural perspectives, and different physical environment perspective. Physical environment means, I can explain you, India is a tropical country while Europe is a very, very, the environmental conditions are too different there. Now, so we need something, where our breakfast, the way we eat our breakfast, the way we eat our lunch, or the way we eat our dinner, or the type of clothes we wear, okay, or the type of personal care products like sunscreen lotion is more required in India because of the too much exposure to the sunlight. While in Europe and all, they go for beaches for sunbath and all. So the personal care products we use, the type of food products we use, the type of, the textiles we use, that is, it could be formal wear, informal wear, or it could be, the bed sheets and all, the accessories within the home, and what all we use could be so different. So in a wider perspective, international marketing leads to globalization and free trade. And this globalization and free trade will altogether increase the standard of living of people across the globe, because even though certain goods and services are not produced within the country, because of international marketing and because of the global trade, those goods and services are made available to the people of that country, and that makes living more comfortable to the people residing in those areas. Now let us look at the features of international marketing. What is the nature of the international marketing? What is the scope of the international marketing? So when we look at the international marketing, we will look at from these perspectives. The scale of operations, that is when we are catering to the domestic marketing, definitely the number of units produced, the size of the manufacturing unit, the number of manufacturing units, the distribution channels, that is the number of vendors, from the suppliers, the number of retailers or wholesalers, they may all be very limited or they may all be very less in number when compared to the when compared with the situation where the company goes global. Then there is a predominant presence of multinational companies across the developed countries, and the multinational companies from these developed countries are trying to enter into developing nations and underdeveloped nations to take the advantage of that uh, you know uh, introductory advantage. Okay, that means they are the first to manufacture those products. Because they are the first to manufacture, they have an advantage of entering into various regions and various areas. Then there is the issue of international restrictions also to protect, the small scale sector or medium scale sector or the companies within a country. Most of the governments are going for subsidies and they have lot of restrictions. Even today, though we have started our LPG, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization from 1991, still we have certain aspects of our industry, services, and agriculture, which are not open to global direct investment or, institutional investors. There is this presence of trading blocks, that is, you have various BRIC, if you can take, we have uh, Britain, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. So to take the advantage, then we have the concept of most favored nation. For example, Bangladesh has given us an MFN status, and we have given it an MFN status. This facilitates free trade. This facilitates, lesser customs duties, and hence the products are more affordable to the people at both the sides. Then there is this concept, there is this three-phased competition. There are international forums which are looking for a comfortable trade, a free trade, and to reduce the barriers, either the entry barriers or the exit barriers across the globe. Then there is a need for a company which is going international to do the marketing research also at the international level and the international perspective. So as we know, there are socio-cultural differences, there are technological differences, there are differences in terms of legal rules and regulations, and these have to be properly understood. The major thing is a linguistic difference, that is language difference, all these things. Then we have sensitive and flexible, markets. For example, if a foreign company wants to enter into our country, definitely we are a very, very price sensitive market to most of the MNCs. A slight change in price will bring in a lot of change in the sales. Okay. Then we have the advanced technology when we are entering, from one country to the other country. There could be a difference in the technological levels. For example, when Amazon wanted to enter into our country at that particular point of time, that was much before the pandemic, the level of online or digital payments was very, very less in our country. So they had to introduce cash on delivery. So when a company is trying to enter into a global market, enter into a market of a different country, they should try to process their processes to the limitations of the technology available over there. At the same time, if a company from our country, that is India, is trying to enter an European country or a Western economy, definitely they have to match the technological uh, know-how available over there. At the same time, when it comes to the eating habits, when McDonald's wanted to enter into our country, that is India, especially the Asian subcontinent, that to South Asian subcontinent, till then there was no non-vegetarian dish, sorry, vegetarian dish on the menu of the McDonald's. But when they decided to enter into the Southeast Asian countries, they have included vegetarian menu dishes in their menu for the first time, because we have many Indians who are vegetarians totally, who are vegetarians on particular days of a week, and many others. And when an Indian family goes to a restaurant or a fast food center like McDonald's, there could be different members in the family who are purely non-vegetarian, who are purely vegetarian, and others being a combination also. At the same time, you could see KFC. Rice bowls is the menu that is introduced only in our country when compared to any other foreign destinations. And it is KFC which came up with the concept of separate kitchens for both vegetarian and non-vegetarian dishes. Then lengthy and time consuming. Yes, when companies go for international marketing, first, the company has to understand the local language, local culture, local uh, social norms. They should understand the legal regulations and rules of the land. They should understand the competition available in in that particular country. They should also understand the level of technology available in the country and the way the people buy and use the products and the occasions or the timing at which the people over there buy. So it is going to be very lengthy and time consuming, not only to understand these things, to implement also. For example, to develop a distribution network in a new country might be very, very time consuming. So many companies go for joint ventures, or they take over the local firms in that country to take the advantage of that distribution network and their customer base. That is what happened with Parle G. Uh, uh, when Coca-Cola wanted to enter into our country, they have bought. Thumbs Up does not belong to Coca-Cola. To take the advantage of the distribution network and the brand equity that Thumbs Up had, they bought it for a huge money, because by then Pepsi was well established in our country, and their market research, gave them a clarity that it may take more than 5 years to develop the kind of distribution network that is required for a very geographically spread country like ours. Okay, then there is always a wider scope, and long-term marketing planning becomes an essential in international perspective. Now, what is the importance of international marketing for a company or for a country? There is a better brand recognition and there is increasing awareness. For example, you take Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola brand is available in more number of countries than the number of members in World Trade Organization. WTO membership is less when compared to the number of countries in which the Coca-Cola is distributed or the Coca-Cola is available. So the kind of brand recognition, the kind of brand acceptance, the kind of brand equity that a company will get when it becomes an international or a multinational corporation is definitely different when compared to a domestic firm. Then they are able to understand the competition in the real sense, because now the world has gone to such an extent where the world has transformed into a global village. No company or no country or no individual can say that, uh, you know, uh, there is no, can have more restrictions or more entry barriers, because we have already become a global village, and there is lot of necessity for imports and exports for every country in itself. So before a company enters into the domestic market and tries to play, if the company is existing in their country, they will try to understand its strategies and all. So companies can understand their competition, how they are competing in one country, how they are competing in other country, so that they are ready with strategies to counter those plans of their competitors. Then they can expand the target market, so the market share can be increased. The companies can gain competitive advantage because they can take the advantage of various facilities and various uh, factors that are available in the other countries. And there is every possibility that when the companies go global, the production costs might reduce, because definitely they will go for production in those areas or in those countries, in those regions where the production costs are comparatively less. And there is a broader and a wider customer base, and it makes the company more stable, because a country might enter into a recession stage, but there could be 10 other countries to whom the company is catering to, where they are in the boom up stage, or their economies are more balanced. And hence the revenue generation will be guaranteed, and the company will have more profits. Now let us see the differences between the domestic and international marketing. On the left we have domestic marketing points, on the right we have the international marketing points. Now, as we all know, domestic marketing is where the company is trying to market within the geographical barriers of a particular country, while international marketing talks about marketing to outside the geographical barriers of the country. That means the company must have reached the other countries. Domestic marketing is the production, promotion, distribution, and sale of goods and services within the local market, within the domestic market, while when the production of units, promotion, distribution, and sale of goods and services happens in the global markets, that is beyond the domestic markets, beyond the country borders, we call it as the international marketing. Domestic marketing requires less financial commitment and it is less riskier, while the international marketing requires more financial commitment and it is more risky, because it is very difficult. For example, Nivea, you must have seen. Nivea was introduced into our country much, much before, I think during 80s it was introduced. But in between, they had to, discontinue their product in our country because the environmental differences, Nivea being a personal care product, the environmental differences were not taken care. That means they have not uh, recognized, uh, that our skin is different, and European skin or the skin from people of colder countries is totally different. So people were not so happy or so open. They just did exporting to our country. So the base formula was not accepted by the people, and they took a small break. They have done lot of R&D, and they have reintroduced Nivea, and now Nivea products are once again available in our country. What I'm trying to highlight is there are differences when it comes to the international marketing, and hence it is important that the company should understand those differences and modify their product to suit the differences or to accommodate those differences when it comes to the usage of their product. In the same way, eatables, I can explain very easily. It is easy for all of us to understand. We have lot of spice that gets added into the items that are made within India. But when we talk about the Europeans or Western markets, the spice level in the ingredients is comparatively less. So when an Indian company wants to enter these international countries or international, definitely the spice level has to be reduced. When those companies has to come into our country, the spice level has to be increased. If this adjustment is not done in the product, then the acceptance of that product may not be there by the local people. Then, when it comes to the domestic market, different strategies may not be required to promote goods and services across local markets. And our India is an exception to it because we are geographically and linguistically, culturally, we are so different. One state is different to that of the other state, but mostly, it does not happen in the domestic markets. But when companies go international, because several markets are involved, a level of expertise is required, and the strategies have to suit the changes in the socio-cultural, and economic differences. Language, because linguistically different will be the international borders. So language, market research, pricing, channels of distribution have to be framed, keeping the wider customers in mind when a company goes international. Why? Because from country to country, they may differ. From continent to continent, they may differ. So these points have to be kept in mind. Legal and regulatory compliance will be limited to the domestic law as far as the domestic market is concerned, but there is a need for the company to understand the legal and regulatory framework in different countries and then operate their products, and there is a necessity to adhere to the legal and regulatory framework that is available in that particular country. Customer support and customer service can be in the local language when you are catering to the domestic customers, but language of the country where the services are getting catered has to be kept in mind. So the customer service and support has to become multilingual for a company. They should try to provide it in the language that is understood in that particular country, and accordingly, the customer expectations may also be different when we are talking about international marketing. Not only the language, the expectations, the rules of the land, the legal framework of the land, everything might be different from one country to the other. So the company has to incorporate all the countries and have different strategies for different countries wherever it is catering to in the perspective. Now, let us look at why should the firms go international. The main reason for the firms to go international is to expand their market, that is, to expand their market share, to increase their sales rather. More market share, more sales will definitely give more profit, and more market share means they are looking at the growth opportunities, and at a particular point of time, there for innovative products, there could be restrictions or constraints in the domestic market. That is, if the company wants to get into a new technology or a new mode of payment and all. For example, cryptocurrencies are not still legal in our country, in India especially. So there are many domestic market constraints. There is competition. It is necessary that a company matches, if it has resources, it has to match the strategies of its competitors. So there is every reason that a company wants to go international because its competitor is international. There is every reason that a company wants to become a full-length company because its competitor is a full-length company. And also the advantage when the company becomes a full-length company is, the customer will not have to look for other brands when he needs different products in that range. What do I mean by saying a full-length company? Suppose we talk about electronic giants. So when I say electronic giants, what is that the company's products are? What is the product mix of the firms? Electronics means from cell phones to AC, to a television, to laptop, to kitchen appliances. These all come under electronics. In a particular product line, if all models, all variants are available from a company, then we call it as a full-length company. Then certain government policies and regulations may tempt the companies to go international because there are certain subsidies given and some economic zones are declared, and hence they can take the advantage. Then to look at the monopoly power, if the company has got a monopoly power in a particular country, or there is a chance for it to get a monopoly power in a particular country, so it can definitely enter into those foreign borders. There are spin-off benefits, and when the company has got a strategic vision, a long-term vision, it is always beneficial. Now, how a domestic company develops itself into a truly global firm. The levels are, first, let us try to understand what does a domestic firm mean or a domestic marketing means. In the perspective of American Marketing Association, as we discussed just now, planning, execution, and conception. That is, we are planning it, we are conceiving the idea, and we are implementing it. What are we doing this? We are implementing these three things for goods, services, and ideas. So when I say goods, services, and ideas, we are giving a proper pricing to it. That is marketing mix, basically. Promotion to it, distribution to it. Okay? So that customers and the organization both are making profit. That means when a company is trying to develop marketing mix for its customers within the local markets, we call it as a domestic company. And there is no need for the company to look beyond that local market or to strategize differently. The same company, because it has grown richer in services, because it has grown richer in expertise, that is, it could be good executives with them, good engineers with them, they have got good financial experts with them. They think they have human resources, they have technological resources, they have financial resources and all. They want to expand. And first expansion in this evolution will be to become an international company. So the journey from domestic to international company will be where still the company tries to plan or strategize the same pricing strategy, promotion strategy, distribution strategy, the same product. They try to use it in the international markets. That is called as international company. That is, all the strategies are same, But because they have excess capacity or because they have an opportunity to go and venture into international markets, they venture into international markets. Now they ventured into international markets. They have uh, a knowledge of the international market, because after they venture, they develop the knowledge about the international market, how that market is, what is the language, what is the local legal rules and regulations, who are the competitors, what is the technology, what is the product over there, how the political setup is there. And when the company feels everything is suitable, they may think of becoming a multinational company. That is, they have the resources and they are successful in those markets. They will try to change the strategies. That is, they will have multiple strategies. One marketing mix strategy for the domestic market, another marketing mix strategy for region 1, region 2, a different strategy, region 3, region 4. Like that, they try to introduce different strategies to suit the requirements of the customers, and to suit the requirements of the legal framework, and to suit the requirements of the technology available over there in that particular foreign land. When a company does that, we call it as a multinational company. That is, in true sense, the company caters to the requirement of many countries, people of many countries. And from here, some marketing gurus, divide this into two. That is, they say global company, from multinational company, the company uh, transcends into global company and into a transnational, while some others synonymously use global company and transnational company as synonymously. That is, both mean the same. Now let us see how the company transcends itself or transforms itself from multinational to being a global company in true sense. After realizing or after strategizing differently, they try to understand the differences in the market setup and the cost structure, the availability of factors of production in various countries, and what are the what is the push given by many governments in those areas. This facilitates the company in the true sense to manufacture its products from various destinations. That is, their manufacturing units will be spread across the world. Their procurement also will spread across the world. They know which product is available at the cheapest possible price from which particular country, and where the transportation facilities are better, where the political setup is more convenient. When I say to political setup, organizations from democratic countries prefer to venture out into democratic countries. While there are, even when we call democratic countries also, we have capitalistic democratic countries and sovereign democratic countries. US is capitalistic democracy. India is sovereign democracy. Okay. So these differences, China is a communist country. So these differences are always there, and these differences will bring in further many differences in the practical operational level of the organization. So when a company takes the advantage of these differences and distributes its manufacturing units, its procurement, that is suppliers, procurement strategies, and the distribution strategies across the globe, and they try to develop the marketing mixes to suit the requirements of the people across various regions, then in true sense, we call that company to be a transnational or a global company. So this is the highest or the final stage of the evolutionary process. There will be corporate headquarters for these companies, and every the unit in a particular country which is working under that corporate headquarters will will work as a cost center and a profit center. Okay, so that is what a global transitional corporations are known as. At this point of time, uh, let us discuss about, let us have a roundup of what all we have learned today. We try to understand what is international marketing in true sense. Let me take a brief of what we have done today. We try to understand what is international uh, marketing, why organizations wants to go international. Then we try to understand what drives organizations or companies or corporations to go international. What is the major force behind becoming or developing an international business? Then we try to understand the factors that decide how to enter an international market, because you can go for exporting, you can go for a joint venture, you can go for a foreign direct investment. So how is an organization looking at it? Then we try to understand the definition of international marketing. Then we try to understand the scope and the nature, that is the major features of the international marketing. Then we try to understand what are the benefits or what is the importance of international marketing. Then we saw the differences between domestic and international marketing. Then we have seen the reasons for going international, why an organization wants to go international. Then we have seen various stages in the evolutionary process of a company becoming a true global company from being a domestic company. Thank you and meet you all in the next class.